on Hollywood.
Indeed. Neptuno going to be trying to put in the work on the defense again, running single support for Movistar Riders. And we'll see if they manage to get the ball rolling on the side of Hammers right now. Running a dive comp, Nesh on the Widow.
Oh, that's nasty.
Okay, Nesh, we see what you're bringing. This is looking to be a game, lads, and Widowmaker is very, very powerful in this first point of Anubis, and Nesh is setting the stage right now with his point. He's really just setting the sightlines. He finds another kill onto Dante. Pretty incredible stuff.
So effective, these sightlines, and Cloud9 had utterly neutralized Misfits when they were trying to run the same thing. When Manneten was on the Widow, they played the sightlines perfectly, but at the moment, Nesh is getting so many opportunities, almost had another one there. Neptuno's up to 63% of his ultimate, but has been taken down. And now Nesh, again with sightlines all the way towards the back, can get easy pickings onto Logix and Corsti and take them down. Tank removed.
Look at this, he's trying to take the 1v1. Ooh, Logic's close to finishing him off. He's got the infrared sight. Still trying to go for it. He's trying to pull a time move, I think, but it's not quite working out for him. Still, he's found Neptuno as well. In a bit of trouble. Neptuno just have to relocate away. Now the infrared's going to be used. Moves into the back lines. Dante with the bio grenade does collect a kill onto xepheR. Might have bit off a little bit too much or more than he can chew, but I mean, Hammers right now, they've got the advantage in positioning and the advantage in, I guess, sight, because they can fully see through these walls right now at the enemy team. But here comes the EMP by Neptuno, looking to defend it, but Shaz was waiting in the back of the Tranquility to try and defend his team. Is it too little too late, though, as they've already dropped too many players?
Yeah, really nice positioning from Shaz, able to avoid the EMP, come back in. Movistar Riders re-establish position over on the point. But Neptuno has to build up another AMP here. They got a single tick out of that. It really looked like Hammers had the opportunity to build on that a little more. I think their positioning, they kind of got brawled up in a scrap on the point rather than trying to take a bit more of the high ground and set themselves up for later. Dante's doing a huge amount of healing down here, almost uncontested as well.
Annoying me that Dante was on 102 HP and not taking a half back, but here we go. They're moving in anyway. It's going to be the sound barrier used by Hammers, trying to lead it in. A lot of ultimates being used alongside the teams, both of them not really coming out on top too much right now. Hammers trying to get a foothold into this point. Sizzlenose is definitely putting in the work for his team right now. Logix is still waiting and sneaking around the back, and it is being contested. Consti's there to try and defend it to the best of his abilities. The Discord Orb is on Logix. They know exactly where he is. He's going to get focused down, 65 HP, has the recall, can still contest this to a decent degree, just basically buying time for his team. I doubt Movistar Riders are going to be fully committing to this one. Consti also going to be moving in, and look at that. They are going to be getting the point in the end, but they've bought enough time for Movistar Riders to get that EMP once again for the defense.
I think one of the big differences in that push as well was that they still have the triple DPS, but Nesh had switched over onto the Tracer, and I think they needed the Tracer. Normally when teams run a triple DPS with a Widow, you'll see it be Widow, Genji, Tracer. But because Snizzlenose doesn't play Tracer that often, I think they wanted to keep him on the Soldier 76. You have two targets that neither of them are really going to be flankers, and you've only got xepheR going in on his own. He wasn't really able to disrupt them that much.
I like the Sizzlenose Roadhog.
Yeah, so this is very interesting. They go McCree probably mostly to counter the Sombra, and the Roadhog, they are probably picked to take full control of the lower map pack once the fight started.
Very spread as well. Neptuno looks for the opportunity but can't find it. The relocate was used. That's going to send them packing in with the Tranquility. Here comes the EMP though. I think it only managed to connect onto two there. Logix is still going to be finding the kills into the back with the help of his team. So it was a successful defense for now.
Yeah, but I mean, the way that Hammers approached that one, they felt scared by the fact that Neptuno had the EMP and had to pop their Transcendence really aggressively to start. So they're popping their Transcendence just because they have an EMP, and then Dante was just able to put a Biotic Grenade onto it, and you've essentially neutralized that entire ultimate with one ability coming out from the Ana.
Yeah.
And that's just the fear that playing into a Sombra is going to put into you. And at that point, you've kind of won the push anyway, because you've forced the team to make decisions that are disadvantageous for them, even before the EMP came out.
Yeah. He swapped over to Ana now just because he doesn't want to play into the Sombra anymore, I think. So.
Tried to use the Tranquility early to avoid it. Well, Consti going to be putting in the early damage, just drops down. Be backing off to the safe clutches of his team. Again, it's going to be another dark side push.
Another EMP.
This is tough for them. They're trying this time and time again, but they're running into the EMPs, just trying to brute force their way through. Initiation's going to be popped in. Tomzy is holding on to it. Doesn't get caught with the EMP, so he can move in with the sound barrier. It's only going to connect onto four of them right now onto the side of Hammers, moving with the Dragon Blade as well. From Swoosh, he's picking up the kills with the help of Logix, putting in tons of damage. xepheR just holding on for now. If he pops that off, is pretty much not going to be good for him whatsoever. And the stagger, it's ridiculous. And they're just going to kill him in the final moments. What can you do against it?
He's got no ultimates to use either. I think he was hacked at the end of that, so it's not like he can even Swift Strike away or try anything. The way that Cloud9 defeated this Sombra composition when Misfits was playing it was just to keep doing dry pushes like this, force ults out of Movistar Riders alongside the EMP, then go in, force an EMP when you have 6 ults up, and then instantly re-push. And as soon as you know that that EMP has been used, you have a small window of opportunity where you can come in and blast everybody down. The issue for me is that they don't quite have the Nano Boost up yet, and they don't have 2 really huge ultimates to use. They've got the Nano Blade onto xepheR that can certainly work really well, but they're not going to get anything out of Nesh, I don't think.
That's a big pick there onto Neptuno moving in. It's going to be the Nano Visor by Fincy. Helix rocket onto xepheR, brings him down. The clutch maneuver there. Snuzzelno is using his whole hog to try and force the positioning, but if they're too slow here, Neptuno's already moving in with the EMP as well. It's going to be the Electric Cowboy moving in, but the EMP negates it. Ridiculous. They're just going to have to rely on raw aim, but Nesh is on 3 HP and a dream, trying to work his magic again. Swoosh there, hits the shot in the end. The magic and the HP, I should say, the healing popping off for him in the end. They're doing this. Hammers snowballing their victory into this, already claiming 2 ticks on the board. Fincy realizes he just can't run into it, and that'll be Hammers winning the initial fight.
I'm actually surprised that they managed to pull that one off as well, because the Nano Boost at the back took down xepheR, the guy on your screen, before he could really get anything done. The fact that Nesh took the Nano Boost as well and then pops his Dead High and that's negated, and then he survives on 3 health. I mean, that was just a knife's edge. It looked like Hammers had kind of committed too much to a fight that was never going to go their way, and they somehow managed to pull it back.
Snizzelno's got 2 picks with his ultimate on Roadhog. I don't remember who he killed, but that's probably what flipped it in their favor, because it was actually this Genji Blade could have potentially given them the edge already.
Yeah, well, Movistar Rider is going to be feeling okay about that one. But, you know, they put up a good defense on point A, decent defense on point B as well. Definitely when you're playing these Sombra-centric compositions, I think you're hoping that the big ultimate fight that happens with the window of opportunity, if you're able to win that one, you're back, like the attacking team is right back to 0 again. So you're able to potentially full hold. But 2 minutes on the clock really isn't that bad of a push for Hammers.
Well, I also think it's very interesting to see how teams use Sombra differently. Like, for example, Movistar plays Sombra with the Ana. Then there's a lot of teams who play Sombra instead of the Ana, play Lucio with it. And then I think C9 even ran triple support with Surefour on the Sombra. So they had Ana or Zen. I don't remember, but like every team runs it differently, which is like as a DPS character or only as a support character.
Yeah, Rogue were running Soon on it as well, and then switching Unko over to the Tracer. A couple of the Korean teams run it just with
Tracer.
No, it was Unko. Yeah, Unko. Oh. Yeah, but for the moment, doesn't look like. Oh well, we've got pretty much the exact opposite situation here. The Sombra coming out from xepheR on the defense, but they've got a Widowmaker Widow on both sides.
Yeah, so there's going to be the Widow v Widow matchup, something we haven't seen quite yet. Nesh is going to be looking for her in his sights. Trying to find Logix. He has spotted it. He'll be missing the initial shot, but he's got the Sombra, so we're building it up. Trying to hit these shots, and it's going to be really imperative that they do manage to find these shots. A lot of pressure on Nesh's shoulders right now to find the correct opening. He spotted one, can't quite claim the kill. Oh, he puts in enough damage though, so xepheR is going to clean them up into the back lines. Meanwhile though, Movistar Riders have managed to get positioning onto the point. xepheR's going to be relocating away, but he's behind enemy lines as it stands. Between him and his team, but they're definitely finding the kills on the side of Hammer, so a solid defense as it stands.
Nesh managed to get a headshot there onto Logix at the end of the fight. There's a lot of pressure on Logix to open this one up as well, because even if he wins the Widow v Widow against Nesh, xepheR is there in the back lines, and you're just tying the team up and denying Logix clean sightlines. He can't take the risk of putting himself in open territory to try and get picks, because he knows that Nesh is somewhere around, so he has to be constantly vigilant.
Ultimates on the board here. xepheR has the EMP. Looks like he might want to try and initiate in. The positioning isn't actually too perfect, but he goes in anyway, and the dive is there to answer it. Hammer's going to be straight away jumping into the back lines, putting in tons and tons of damage. xepheR might actually fall. He can't quite get the relocate away in the end. Trading a few players. Nesh, that is filthy, man. Clicks the headshot onto Logix. He's flying through the air. And that will definitely set Hammers up for, again, another solid defense here. They've got the infrared sight, just the cherry on the top at the end of the day, just to find these kills. xepheR was tangoing, I think, with Colsey in the back lines, ends up finishing him up with the pulse bomb. But Hammers are doing a decent job of defending this, but now they don't have any ultimates really to use. They've got Tomzi's sound barrier, yes, to defend with, but do you really want to commit that on this first defense?
And here's the switch as well. Logic's moving over to Tracer, so now they're just going kind of full dive. They're able to go in, try and take high ground, but Nesh kills him with a headshot.
This must be what Tomzi was talking about in the car. This must be it.
Must be it.
It's ridiculous. Nesh is just popping off all over the place, creating so many openings for his team. They're committing a Primal Rage on Coasty just to try and stop him. Unfortunately, the defense matrix does not swap or stop the monkey's fist flying through your face, but in the end, they are going to be trading up these kills quite equally. Tomzi's still holding on to this defense matrix, not quite wanting to use it just yet. Finally, ooh, no, he gets picked off in a crucial time there. Logic's finding the kill onto him, meaning it's going to be no defense matrix or no sound barrier for the defense here for Hammers. Cap time thoroughly going into Movistar's favor, so I'm going to be in a pretty happy position moving into the second point.
Colsty did a huge amount of work there, actually getting right up into Nesh's face. They managed to find the pick onto him. Also nearly DMX'd the Diva single-handedly. Takes all of that position away from them, and that just cracks the push wide open there. Shaz still with the EMP though. I mean they managed to get the push when Hammers had quite a number of really impactful ultimates live that they just weren't in a position to pop off. So in no sense have they developed a snowball here on the attack, because Hammers is still in a good position to defend.
Ults across the board here, so we're going to see a similar situation. They do have an EMP to answer the defense for the side of Hammers. Logic finds the hook onto fyeR though. That is an opening. Are they going to exploit it? Looks like they're looking to take it straight through main. The boop onto Shaz. Neptuno is going to get hacked up here, so that's going to be no sound barrier if they want to try and move onto the back. Sound barrier going to be used by Hammers to try and initiate into the back lines. Search for a kill, not quite finding too much though. Bit of a difficult situation for both these teams. Going to be using ults pretty slowly. Didn't quite connect the stick. I thought that was almost there by fyeR, and Fincy moves in with attack visor, so he's getting in tons of damage here. Hammers falling, dropping a lot of plays in the process. EMP now finally going to get committed here by Shaz, but the damage, the kills, all flowing in the side of Movistar Riders. Neptuno are right into the fight late, moved in with the sound barrier, keeping these teams alive. Hammers dropping so many players in the end. Coasty moving in with the Primal Rage. They've already secured one tick, starting to contest the point to the best of their abilities. Swoosh moves in with the Dragon Blade as well, just to finish it up, trying to get this clean attack underway. Hammers still struggling in themselves in with these stagger rolls. They're running Fincy, or Nesh I should say, now switching over to Desire to try and hold this for as long as he possibly can, but it seems like Movistar Riders have this under control. They just focus down the correct players. They are getting staggered out, however. The self-destruct is going to force the positioning, and this might be an opening now, Sideshow, for Hammers to try and retake it.
Logic is so weak, using his whole hog to push everybody back. They haven't even got 2 ticks on the board here. The stall has been ridiculous from Hammers. Zarya Bumble on the left-hand side. They've dropped 2 though. Both of their DPS players, other than Swoosh, have fallen from Movistar. Maybe they lack the damage to actually finish this one out. They are inches away from taking 2 ticks, but Hammers have managed to stabilize in the end.
Okay, Shaz going to be taking a little nap into the tail end of this fight. I remind you, this point is still being contested by these teams. The fight is still continuing right now, and there's going to be another Dragon Blade by Swoosh. That's the second one in this fight. Unreal, moving in even further forward. Nesh going to be using the particle barrier to keep himself chipper and alive. Sound barrier going to be used as well by Movistar Riders into the tail end of this fight. The hook comes out from Logic, collects the kill. Still only 2 ticks on the board right now for Movistar Riders. Christopher moves in with the Primal Rage, just trying to stagger this for as long as he possibly can for his team to get back into it. Fincy has the tactical visor. The EMP now committed as well by Shaz as he just runs into the tail end of the fight. Another opening for them, but right now Swoosh is there with the kills. Still being contested if they just focus down these players. Nesh moves in with the Graviton Surge, but the damage is definitely not there. Soundbarrier wasn't committed by Tomzi. Still finding players moving into the tail end of the fight here, but Logic to the hooks is on point with it. Someone is still contesting this point, Sideshow. What is going on?
Oh, and now they've got the Mei into it as well. This is honestly well executed by Hammers, but Movistar are doing everything they can. They're playing it almost perfectly. They haven't dropped a player this whole time. Another Dragon Blade almost going to be up here from Swoosh. They can even have the Nano Blade because Dante's so close to getting it up again.
Third blade this fight, I remind you, and he's moving in. The contestant moving off. There's still players onto the point in the final moments. Only a sliver of the ticket they need to get going right now. They're moving to the Reaper. Anything they can do on Hammers' side to try and stall us out into the tail end of it. Dante, he's built up the Nano Boost once again. Moving in, the soundbar going to be used. It is the longest fight I think I've ever casted in all my time of Overwatch. They're trying their hardest, Hammers, to not end it here. They have definitely stalled it out, and they've done a decent job so far. The kills still flowing in for them. Fincy getting another attack visor in the process, just trying to run them out. Hammers with the stall, and it will go to their way. Finally, Movistar Riders clinching it out.
Oh my god.
I'm sweating. I am sweating.
That was mental. That was actually crazy. Do you know what? That was a fantastic push from Movistar Riders. They played it so well on A and B.
Yeah.
They end with less time than Hammers.
Yeah.
Crazy stall.
Do you know how long that stall was? I wasn't
2
paying
minutes
attention.
at
Was
least.
it?
That is nuts.
That is
think.
crazy. They played it. I mean, they've got a
Actually,
little smile on their face there. Fisher's like, hey.
Because Dante swapped off Zen to come back as Anna, and I think if he didn't hit that sleep dart on Shaz, they would actually not have taken it.
Yeah,
Because he
possibly.
got his nano instantly, then he nanoed, I think, the Winston, and
Yeah,
then
Colsty.
they never left the point anymore. So
That was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to turn it as well. When they took down Finzi and then Logix, I mean, that had the potential to go badly for them. But it was so long. That was mental. I mean,
and
the
they
way
pulled
that
out all the breaks, the Zarya, the Maid,
Yeah.
the Reaper.
yeah, just every stall tactic they could think of.
The respawns really falling into favor of Hammers there as well.
Yeah.
Like the pattern of respawns, like Movistar Riders failing to pick off these players at precise times, essentially together, really stunted them because they were getting the respawns on Hammers thick and fast. Moving on to the Maid, a Reaper, as you said, and the Sombra, they had the EMPs coming up time and time again. Excellent stall by Hammers, unreal. Movistar's time to, again, attack into this. They've only got a minute 30. It's going to be a very tough ask indeed.
Again, going for Logix on the Widowmaker, but they've got to be quick to switch off if he doesn't get the picks, I think, because they're not playing. Oh, Nash, filthy. The Widow be Widow again, but he gets the pick there onto Fisher to reply. Neither Widow has really caught each other in their sights yet. And the kills are being traded left, right, and center. Nesh again getting the better end of it. Another headshot.
It's unreal. This guy is insane on the Widowmaker. This is their secret. This is their wild card pick. This is what Tomsy was bragging to me about. He said, you can't know our secrets. You'll have to wait until the game. It's Nesh on the Widowmaker. He is popping off for days, creating so many openings. A minute on the clock for Movistar Riders to try and push their way into this, get at least a capture point, maybe even a second one if they're truly lucky. They're going to be taking it straight through main. Colsty drops down the bubble pretty early. He's moving into the back lines. Tom's in a bit of trouble. Nesh is definitely there, though, trying to find the shots.
EMP.
EMP available. Nesh again, picking off these players straight into the cranium, whisking straight past them. I wish I knew a French phrase to say, but I don't. I don't know a lick of French. Neptuno, though, is the one to deal with it. He tells his team, if you can't deal with it, I will in the end. They're finding the kills on the side of Movistar Riders. The spawners are going to be coming in faster for them. The EMP has been built up, though, so Shad's going to be using that to try and secure this fight.
Yeah, and that's been the turning point there because it was getting dangerous for Hammers. They had a couple of players around them. Logix and Swoosh really could have turned this, but with only 14 seconds left, Shaz manages to turn the fight in Hammers' favor. Nesh has made the switch over to Soldier as well. With Logix on Tracer, this is going to be one final brawl for point A of Temple of Anubis, but they need to activate the overtime and start this one going.
Overtime has been ticked over. Movistar Riders need to play the point. The overtime ticking down. Colsty is the man to watch. Post from sticks onto him. Fisher finding the kill for his team. Great opening for them. Fincy now moving in with the tactical visor, searching for opportunities, but still knows has his defense matrix up. Not really getting too much value out of that one ultimate. The overtime ticking down. Nobody's on the point. Finally, they do jump onto it. It's going to be the Dragon Blade by Swoosh, slicing and dicing, finding the kills. Sound barrier also used by Hammers to tail end this fight out, but it looks like Movistar Riders are going to be getting the attack. The overtime ticking over for them. Beautiful work in the end.
They saved all of their ultimates for the overtime situation there. Dante, Swoosh, Logix just got his up as well. Neptuno and Colsty are just building theirs. I mean, I don't know really whether they're going to have enough to push this one into point A. They have 30 seconds to be able to get there, and Shaz so close with EMP, and the last fight took 2 minutes, but they contested the point the whole time, so that would work in overtime, and it would even give the defenders slower spawns, so potential for them to make something happen here, but they swap Dante off to the Ana as well, so they're starting to build things up. Logix gets rid of his pulse bomb to go over to the Hog, and they're making full use of this 30 seconds.
Moving in slowly, patiently. The sound barrier going to be committed by Movistar Riders. EMP going to be used as well. That's going to trigger the self-destruct into the corner. Doesn't quite find the kills. Logix didn't get the hook either. That was what he was looking for. Fisher finding kills into the back line. Just charging up his ultimate on the battery. That is Logix on that Roadhog right now. Moving around the map quite carefully. Neptuno in a bit of trouble. The beatdown coming for him. 60 HP on Fisher. Does collect the pack. Hacked up for his team. Right now, overtime still ticking over. There is a player onto the point, moving in again. The wall in the nick of time. Nesh just trying to deny as much space as possible for the team right now. Swoosh, though, he's on a mad one. He's already picked up 3 kills, goes for the 4th. He finds it. He's setting it up for his team. Is this going to be good enough for them? Are they going to get staggered out like last time? I'm not too sure, but Neptuno is definitely there to help them out. Anytime they get on this is going to be insanely important. They've already secured a single tick. Swoosh trying to find the opportunities for his team, moving in 2 ticks. This is incredible for them, but now here comes the stall by Hammers. It's going to be very tough to get anything out of this even further forward. It's going to be the Primal Rage as well, used by Colsty, just smashing away at them, trying to force them off to the point. The Blizzard was used as well, overtime ticking over. They do manage to get onto the point again in the nick of time, still finding these players, Sideshow, but it's looking almost impossible for them.
Nanobu's going to be up very shortly from Dante. If he can get it onto somebody good, if he can possibly put it over on Colsty, he might be the only guy available. He's used the Nano Boost over there. See if they can get damage out of it. Colsty's finding the kills. They're doing so much damage, so much work, but Hammers are still managing to stall. The timer is ticking up, and Movistar Riders take it. The stall is not enough there from Hammers to flip it in the end, and in overtime for both points with 30 seconds left, they take at least the attack on Temple of Anubis.
They're laughing. That was all the way to the bank.
That's the swoosh show that was in the end.
That was
got
crazy.
Like 4 kills in a row.
Just as the timer was about to tick down, gets his Dragon Blade, extra Swift Strike, he's in there. Then four kills, manages to take it. Genji, I think, is the most powerful hero if you're trying to play these overtime situations on Temple of Anubis. There are so many ways, like avenues for you to attack and pillars to jump off, and the fact that you build up the Dragon Blade so often and its ability to chain deaths together, just utterly impactful, and Swoosh playing it to perfection there towards the end.
I really like that they were like calm and collected enough as well to swap to the Roadhog and to the Ana.
Yeah.
Even like normal, like a lot of teams would just like stress and say, oh, only 30 seconds, let's go. But they swap to Ana, swap to Roadhog, move up, just wait till the last second to go in.
Yeah, they only had 5 seconds before they touched the point the first time around. Like using that 25, 30 seconds to make sure they had a composition that worked for them. I'm not even really sure whether logics on the Roadhog got that much done, but the overall pick to switch over to Ana and the fact that he's still doing the damage there and putting in occasional risk of hooks and stuff like that worked out superbly for them. And now they're on the defense.
Nash getting so many picks and then he loses the one-on-one against the Lucio in the back.
It is tough though.
Feels
Lucio
bad,
losing a lot of damage, knocks you on the map.
It's hard to kill a Lucio.
And it's hard to
kill.
Exactly, he moves around a lot, hitbox is quite small as a result. Neptuno is on the Sombra, going to be hacking up the health packs on the side of Movistar Riders' defense. Hammers are running Nesh on the attacking Widow. Let's see if they can find the openings that he was looking for in the past.
Single support,
searching.
Single tank as well for Movistar Riders.
Oh, he's got damage into Swoosh. Nobody's there to really follow up on it. The heals are going to be there for him as well. They've spotted, however, where Dante's positioning just from this. They can see the traces of his gun right there, so they know he's in the top right area. It's important for them.
They're not going to give him the sightline, though. They respect Nesh, especially after what he was doing on the defense last time.
It's a tough ask for them. Still, just playing it super patiently.
40
they realize
seconds already used.
To make no mistakes here in this final push. Neptuno moving into the back. He's got his EMP. This could be the kicker for them, holding on to it for now. The team, Movistar Riders, moving into the back lines. Got to relocate, going to be hacking up the health packs as well. Hammers needed to attack any time there. They've already wasted a lot of time, about a minute off the clock, shaved, just from trying to play the patient game. Infrared Sight's going to be up for Nesh, so now they do have an advantage in that regard. They're going to be seen through the walls. Fisher moves into the back, Swift Strike going to be used alongside the EMP there from the side of Movistar Riders. It's going to be the... Oh my goodness.
The Nano Boost.
With the Nano Boost. It's just too much damage, and they just did not have the capability, the abilities to move away from it because they were hacked up.
But what I don't understand there is why Movistar Riders initiated at that point. Hammers have waited so long. They used a full minute just to get position, and there was no indication that they were just about to move. And now they've used a load of ultimates just as Hammers are going to recontest.
19 seconds.
I think the idea was to just use the EMP there, but because he didn't EMP the Zenyatta, they decided to use the Nano Boost as well.
Well, moving in, Hammers have the sound barrier to try and buy them a little bit of time. Snuzz with the tactical visor, claims a kill. His team knows Swoosh is there with the deflect. He's going to reflect it straight back into the face of Snuzz. Now they're moving in. Fisher, Dragon Blade in hand, searching for the opportunities, but Coasty's positioning is perfect. Finds the kill. Overtime now ticking down. Hammers only have a single chance here to work with, and the EMP might just seal the deal for them. Right now, the Tranquility did get off in time for Shaz. They have enough time. Swoosh just with the Dragon Blade can't quite burst through all that healing. He's finding it though, and Fincy with the tactical visor will be enough to just finish it off, and that will be that. My goodness. Match complete.
What an admirable attempt from Hammers Esports. They had a fantastic situation for their defense. They had the amazing stall situation there on point B as well. Nesh was hitting crazy shots on the Widowmaker. They've got the Sombra in the mix, and it's still not enough to overcome them and take a single map in this series. And Movistar Riders, they look like they've got the answer for it every time.
So it's like, it's 3-0 now, but like this map could have gone either way, it feels like, and even the previous control map could have gone in the either way. So, I don't know. Just a bit unfortunate. I think the last map is a
Whoa!
payload.
Take it for a little ride.
Has to be
It is,
payload.
yes.
Yeah.
So only Gibraltar or Root are available, and those are both pretty heavily favorite.
Don't
maps.
think it's going to be Gibraltar, so it's most likely going to be going to Route 66, if it's Hammer's pick at least. I don't see why they'd go to a map that would be favourite to the Movistars, but you never know. Might be
But
pulling out more
even
secret
Root
strats.
is...
Yeah, it's a bit iffy, isn't it, for tank-based compositions, exactly.
It's good towards the end,
Yeah,
but
the last stage.
the last stage is really good for those kind of compositions. I think Hammers have also impressed whenever they've played it, particularly in that final area in the warehouse. The issue is that even if you're able to not lock teams out, but really extend the amount of time that they're able to get, but they still manage to capture, the map ends up being decided by what's happening at the front before checkpoint 1 in terms of how far you can push it in the overtime, and that really doesn't favor them at all. So it's kind of unlucky that it's the tank portion towards the end if they're thinking about that when they're choosing the next map. But that's got to be so heartbreaking for them that they weren't able to take Temple of Anubis.
So close.
This format, every single map matters. So it's not like they could have like come back in the series or something. If they're able to take a single map here, that's huge for them. That
Every
can
game is huge.
start to pull them out of that 4th place spot in Group B that's been so competitive so far, actually. It's a clash of styles, but I don't think so far we've really seen which team is on top yet. I mean, Movistar and Cloud9 look really impressive, but I think Misfits have also got the kind of style, as does Cloud9, where they're going to be very different in the games against Movistar riders.
I feel like Misfits and Cloud9 share a lot of similarities in the compositions and stuff they like to run.
Yeah.
I mean, Cloud9 have a very comfortable Farah Mercy with Surefour and Adam, I believe. But other than that, yeah, it's gonna be close for them. So I do actually give in this Group B the advantage to Cloud9 just because they can play a series of events. I mean, they played the game earlier. It was 2-2, was it? 2 maps each when they played the game today against Misfits. Off the top of my head.
No.
3-1.
It was 3-1, yeah.
So yeah, they lost it in the tail end of it. It was super close though. So like Cloud9 have shown really significant results. And they're a team, I feel like, the further this tournament goes on, the stronger they're possibly going to get because
Could be.
it's the experience and meshing together. It's the first day they're playing, actually. They're still recovering from a bit of jet lag as well. So who knows? The further into the tournament, they might just start to gain even more and more strength.
Yeah, and just because they can play both tanks and dive, for example, on Root, they can play dive when they have to, and they swap to tanks in the last point. And I don't think you won't see Movistar doing that, for example.
Yeah.
No. I mean, Movistar as well, they have the luxury whenever you've got a team that only focuses on one composition of really trying to perfect that as well. If you're a team that likes to dabble with lots of different compositions based on each area of the map, it adds more that you have to practice, more synergy that you have to work with. You're starting to combine different ultimates together, different abilities, different dives or defenses. Whereas teams like Rogue, typically, teams like Movistar Riders, in a sense yourselves as well on eUnited, have chosen really just to focus on one particular style above all else.
Yeah, so I think that also has to do, like, I think you should perfect one style before you move on to the next one instead of trying to be good at everything.
By the time you've perfected triple DPS, the meta will have changed.
Yeah. Then we'll have to change. Well, I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Master of none.
I also think like some people like to play too many heroes.
What do you
think
think?
better
It's
to
too
be
spread across the point?
I think it's better to be really good at one hero than okay at 2 heroes, for example.
The advantage, though, like I think Overwatch is in a state of the game now where we're a year in. Players are starting to reach the limits of certain heroes, and now they can afford to spread across into different roles.
Bren, I am going to remind you of that in 3 years when people are breaking the boundaries of what's possible with these
We're going to
heroes.
see Nesh in a few years' time, grey beard, to be able to play every hero in Overwatch. We're going to be having about 500 by that point, and then...
Oh, I think though that the individual skill ceiling, while it is large at this point in time, is only going to develop as the game goes on, as well as combining like the teamwork elements and the strategy together. Obviously, you're not going to have the same like patch over the whole time, so that has a bit of a resetting element. But I can only see like the skill level going up from here. I don't think we've reached anywhere close to where it's at.
Yeah,
but
so it's not like I didn't mean like, of course, every team needs like at least 1, maybe 2 people who can play a lot of heroes at a high level. But like in general, for example, I think EU, for example, is mostly known for the Zenyatta players, while in NA there's a lot of good Ana players. And I think like maybe in some compositions Ana is better, but if you're really good Zenyatta, you're still better off playing Zenyatta than playing Ana if you're not
if you're a
as
really good
strong.
Zen.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I think that's why a lot of people are also sticking to Zenyatta in EU. Obviously, it favors dive as well, but like, yeah.
If you can play it well, you can have a much larger impact than if you were on the Ana, for example.
We have seen much more versatility in the most recent patches, this method, than we have in pretty much any that I can think of as well.
Yeah.
Loads of different compositions are viable depending on what your team's strengths are. It does seem that dive in general is going to be the way to go most of the time, but there are certainly situations where Reinhardt-centric comms, the tanky comms, are more viable, and the 2-2-2 as well is pretty interesting to see how that stretches across. The Sombra as well. I mean, there's so many different additions, like the Pharah Mercy stuff that the North American teams are famous for as well.
Even C9 running, they ran Mercy Widowmaker on
Yeah, they did
today.
I like the...
And that's for sure something KAISER brought back from Korea, because that's something we ran into a lot there.
Yeah, LW Blue ran that quite a number of times.
One thing I like about the Widowmaker with Mercy is like damage boosted shots. It's very similar in sort of playstyle to when you're running Pharah Mercy alongside dive, where you're setting up your dive with these, like in Pharah Mercy's case, damage boosted rockets. In the Widowmaker case, not only are you forcing sightlines, so you're a really hard target to try and contest, whereas Pharah Mercy is quite out in the open, but you're also putting in damage which dive can jump on. So I do quite like it in certain sections. Are we going to see Nesh coming out onto Widow again? Is he baiting me?
Could very well be.
He was actually
maybe only for the start to check if they're holding aggressive.
But he can try for picks here at this initial portion, and then he can move straight back into the spawn room. He can have a little bit of a peek out. He must have got a decent body shot off there as well, because he's already at 41% of his ult.
That's true. It's true. Let's build up a significant amount of it. Moving back though. Fincy collecting the first frag there onto xepheR, so Hammer's still trying to push his payload just around the corner for this U-bend section, but backing off for now. They're going to be waiting for Nesh to swap off to the Tracer, it feels like now. And they're going to be running actually a 2-2 combo with Snizzlenose on Hog, so I quite like this. Movistar riders aren't running like a Zarya and a D.Va in response to this. They're not really going to. Snizzlenose has a lot of room to breathe, essentially.
He can play around the payload as well at the same time as the rest of his team comes in. Great peel there from Swoosh, able to mitigate all of the damage going to be coming out from Snizzlenose. As Korsti dies anyway, though, that hug bringing him out of position. Movistar riders under a lot of pressure, actually, at the moment. Hammers with this half-and-half composition where they've got a lot of their team able to dive in, but still Snizzlenose around the cart. Their attention has been split. They're being picked apart at the moment.
If you think about it, this is a really nice map for Roadhog indeed, because there's so many different angles of attack you can take on the, not just the first point, second point as well. Third point is a bit difficult because it's quite choky, but other than that, it's the Snizzlenose Hog can really come out to play here, and that's playing to Hammers' strength.
Because he hooked the Winston and it got negated by the Matrix, but Nesh just went on the side and then still picked him up. So actually, that coordination was actually very good by Hammers right there.
And Nesh just picking up the entry frag immediately. xepheR following up the kill onto Fincy in the back lines. He's finding a second one. The kill is falling into the favor of Hammers as it stands. KAISER's going to be trying to play the point to the best of his abilities. Snizzlenose going to be using the hook onto Swoosh there, getting him out of the mech, and it will be the first checkpoint going the way of Hammers. A very convincing fashion. They've got ultimates to work with as well here.
So far, it seems like Movistar riders don't really know how to approach this or are having difficulty trying to get onto their backlines, because Snizzlenose is sat on the cart around the same position that Shaz and Tomzy are, just trying to defend them or at least get hooks on anybody who dives in onto them. At the same time, Hammers have got a trio of Christopher, xepheR, and Nesh who can dive forwards and really put pressure on them. So they're getting split on two fronts, I think.
So this was kind of what I was talking about before the game.
Oh, Dragon Blade used. They're going to be trying to find the options. xepheR was hunting for those DPS targets, but he actually went in an opposite direction out of the point, so he just couldn't actually quite grasp onto them. Just for, however, using his Primal Rage is going to bring down Logics, and Snizzlenose just searching for the opportunities. Good deflink by Swoosh there. He's going to at least keep him alive for now. Hammer's still hurting for the opportunities. Nesh is actually on a mad one this game, using his Tracer to its fullest potential.
LAN performance as well. Nesh certainly bringing it out to play.
First LAN.
Yeah, first LAN performing like this. I mean, he's been a great addition to Hammers as well. They made a couple of changes, switched Snizzlenose over to the off-tank a while back just to give themselves a bit more dive capabilities, I think. Add another DPS player in there to go alongside xepheR, and Nesh can also do the off-tanks as well. He's a very versatile player. And so far, working very well for Hammers. Their attack so far has been pretty excellent. Movistar haven't had a chance to stabilize.
They're going to search for it now. Snizzlenose using that hog to just force him off the point. Fincy, he's using that the nano visor, I believe, but he's getting pushed straight back into the spawn. Neptuno with the boot. He's going to knock them back for a certain degree, and Movistar riders are looking like they are in the driving seat. Neptuno is the one actually claiming the kills in the kill feed at least, but they do manage to defend in the end. I thought I was going to go their way. I thought Snizzlenose with the whole hog had put enough pressure onto Fincy when he has his attack visor out to not cause too much damage for them, but immediately, look at this, Snizzlenose moving to the Diva as well.
I think Dante got a really good nade off. I think he naded like 3 or 4 people because xepheR even popped his ultimate, but he could keep no one alive to do that. So.
Snizzlenose swapping off to the Diva as well, gives him an opportunity to advance. Was that 4 ultimates used in the last fight as well from Movistar Riders, so they don't really have that much to defend with. Only Swoosh, no real ability to help him too much as well because they're running that solo tank composition. Hammers engaging now Swoosh with the Dragon Blade, see if he can get focused down or get any value out of it. Couple of swipes there, getting a lot of damage out actually, but only finding a single kill onto Christopher. They're not choosing to invest too much into this fight though, Hammers. As soon as they drop their main tank, deciding to drop back. They've got a couple of ults to work with.
That's a good eco push, 100% of the way. Like, they've got time to work with, 2 minutes here, and Hammers are just holding on to their ultimate. So xepheR actually had his Dragon Blade in that previous fight, but obviously they just didn't want to use him at all. And Movistars were more than happy to just pop off their own. They've only got the one defensive support ult with Neptuno, whereas Hammers can just rotate around the Tranquility and Sound Barrier as they're running the Zen and Lucio.
See where they opt to use the ultimates when they actually have them as well, because Hammers, if they do wait for themselves to get tons of ults online, then Movistar are going to as well. It's not like they're building up an ultimate advantage at any point, they're just building up both teams' ultimate banks here as they look to engage. But xepheR looks like he's poking for a position to try and initiate with a Dragon Blade here. They've got a lot of info about where everybody is.
They've lost Christopher again, so it's going to be a sticky situation. He might opt to use it, but he's getting jumped on and forced down, and it would have just been suicide to try and make an attempt in that situation. And, well, Hammers again, another push, another day. At least, I guess, 1 more push, potentially 2 if they're super quick, but because their spawns now are so far away, on this section of Route 66, and Movistar's riders are so close, they're really only going to be able to get 1 push attempt.
Yeah, so I liked the eco push before, but now they still didn't use anything, and now they're going to be fighting a Nano Visor again, and a Lucio ult, so it's going to be very hard for them to get this.
Perhaps a little misread of what ults were where on Movistar Riders, because there's now 4 active and Swoosh ticking up to his Dragon Blade, so this is going to be incredibly dangerous territory for Hammers with only 45 seconds left. Is that a sleep dart or a boop or something there onto Christopher, and out comes Finzy with a tactical visor. That's given a nano boost as well. He's chunking even through the Transcendence that was coming out from xepheR. If you were going to commit to any fight, Hammers, that was probably not the one you wanted to commit to, as xepheR and xepheR used their ultimates in the midst of that, and now there's 30 seconds left.
And Stagger and Snizzlenose all the way to the cliff. Look at him, just going to be following him, body blocking him. Colsty is giving him the treatment, not letting him pass whatsoever. Oh my goodness. 15 seconds remaining, and they're going to take a 5v6. This is going to be looking tough for Hammers right now. Christopher's in position in the main area. 9 seconds remaining. He's going to try and touch the car, but the stick! Oh my goodness, Logic has brought him so low now, and he's in a sticky situation. Had to use his Primal Rage early on to try and at least get onto the point. Will bring down Dante. Dante couldn't quite get the sleep dart off. Going to be knocking around Fincy as well, putting in tons of damage. He's going to be finding the kill as well. With the leap, overtime still ticking down for them, but Hammers only have 2 players remaining. Self-destruct will be sent flying up into the skybox. Not finding the kills that they need though. Nesh is trying to batter them back with a quick little dirty little pulse bomb. But right now, Movistar Riders, they've got the spawner advantage. They can stall out this fight for as long as they possibly can. The spawners will be coming in. Look at this, the car's just not moving at all.
Nesh is going crazy though. He's the sole man keeping his team in this fight. He's managed to find pick after pick after pick.
He's got to do it.
He's getting damage in at the moment on the Logic's POV as he attempts to do the same from his side as well. As we were saying, the defender advantage is there, but Hammers have got all their players in here. Logic's with 2 picks though in the end, and they're able to get him off the card. Hammers got to be disappointed with that, I think. They didn't even get it to the warehouse stage.
Yeah, such a convincing first stage, and then it felt like they were a bit... They didn't know what to do against the dive anymore in the second.
Yeah.
Was the turning point that eco push and the mismanaging of ultimates, do you think?
I think so. I think they probably misread the ultimates because they had the Dragon Blade up themselves as well, so they could potentially just have tried to go Dragon Blade versus Dragon Blade and see what happened. But yeah, and after that, I think once you start running into a Nano Visor again, then you're not going to win it anymore.
Very tough indeed. Still, it's not over just yet for Hammers. There's potential for them to at least take 1 map away from the side of Movistar Riders. There's the Hammers guys there, calm, collected, cool. Got Tomsy in the back. He's in that main calling position. I quite like the setup they've got with the PCs, where you can have your Lucio player at the back, or the person who's making the majority of like the macro and micro decisions, and they can just oversee everyone's screen at one point. It's quite nice.
It's a bit I also sit in the back.
Yeah.
So.
It's a bit like Apex.
But yes, it is like Apex, yeah.
Looks like I have time to do
Okay, Hammers. This is the defense for them. They're going to be using xepheR. Don't know if he's going to be staying onto this role, but Sombra makes sense.
That's very interesting, though. I mean, if you've got one composition for Temple of Anubis in terms of how you want to defend with a Sombra, and then somebody else completely different is going to be picking it up on Route 66, is that just a spur-of-the-moment decision? Is there a reason that they want to keep double support, double tank in Route 66, perhaps?
So this is actually a composition that gets run quite frequently here, because you want to hold forward with Winston and the D.Va to block the payload early. And then you can have the Zenyatta sitting on the big pack, which is hacked, so he can't really die, and the Lucio to amp the tanks in the front. So like that you can still get Sombra ult really quickly and keep your tanks alive, in theory. Let's see how it works out.
Damage going to be coming out from xepheR as well as he's down here, along with Nesh harassing them from the back lines. And xepheR, of course, going to be doing his own damage and then just translocating back. And Movistar going to be put under a bit of pressure. A lot of health coming out of this composition. A lot of tanks being able to stay at maximum health there.
Nesh getting away with murder in the back. Neptuno is going to fall. And right now, Hammer's just playing underneath Big Earls for now. Around a choke point as well with the two main tanks. xepheR across the map. That's, I believe, fully charged Orb's going to be claiming the headshot kill onto Logix. Beautiful bit of work there. And these small picks, they're just adding up, just slowly taking away the time from Movistar Riders is what you kind of want from Hammers. They've already got the EMP as well.
And they're looking to whittle time away because they have to at least get a couple of minutes off the clock here.
Yes.
As they can't afford to let them progress further than the second checkpoint. Here comes the initiation from Movistar. There's the EMP to reply as well from xepheR. But the follow-up wasn't quite there. Disengaged well from Movistar Riders, and they're able to bait them back towards the cart.
Hammers can't afford to lose too many players here because the spawn is so far away, and this cart is going to get pushed in. Right now, they're just staggering it out. Snizzle is going to be playing around the point. Nesh as well, essentially just trying to stop the cart from moving for as long as they possibly can before the players of Hammers do end up retaking and re-getting into this fight. Still sticking with xepheR on this Sombra, even though he did die pretty early on. He's not going to have the EMP just yet. He's on 25%. Get this build quite quickly. But right now, the aim of the game for Hammers is to try and stall this and potentially get a defense. But it's tough. It's a tough ask. Movistar Riders, they have the positioning. They've got ultimates to work with as well. xepheR and xepheR, they're finding openings. This could work for them. Oh, look at that. Snizzle knows the answer. Swoosh wasting the Dragon Blade away. Beautiful work by Hammers. Textbook.
They've got loads of tanks, loads of health to be able to recontest the cart and re-engage there. It doesn't matter if the chip damage comes in. That focus onto Swoosh, though, was fantastic.
So good by xepheR as well.
Yeah, xepheR is finding picks, but those are kind of variable, right? He's just happens to hit something awesome, but that was really clean focus fire as soon as Swoosh came in.
Excellent, excellent positioning for Hammers to try and take a fight here. They've got 2 support outs that are going to be coming online very soon. Gives a lot of defensive capabilities, whereas Movistar Riders actually only have Neptuno's Tranquility to work with, moving with the EMP. Neptuno will end up falling, trading kills all over the place here. Nesh is the man, however, to be watching as he is finding the kills. Now it's actually xepheR who's really just taking the fight straight to their spawn of the Primal Rage. Probably going to skip back as well, drops down the bubble to prevent any damage being popped onto him, and they are still in a position to hold this. Nesh has the Pulse Bomb, and 4 ults online for Hammers here. Movistar Riders can move in with the Nano Visor, but they've got to get the positioning.
Yeah, support ults up for both teams, and I mean, the Nano Visor is going to be neutralized almost immediately by Snizzlenose, I think. That Pulse Bomb goes down right in the middle of 3 players. But Neptuno uses his ultimate there, the Transcendence, just to avoid it. And Finzi up the top with the Nano Visor, but there was nobody there. Snizzlenose had been taken out already, but the rest of the team just disengaged round the corner. They still get the picks that they need, though. Hammers, they're going to be hard-pressed to contest this again before the second checkpoint. Before the first, rather. Movistar Riders have got all the picks they need.
Honestly, a wonderful fight by Movistar Riders there. Even though Hammers had the advantage when it came to the double support ults, Movistar Riders realized they had an opportunity to move in with the Nano Visor just on the ledge. Not really opportunities, as Hammers, I think, already used their mobility cooldown, so they couldn't contest it. Cracked them wide open. Great defense. And xepheR, however, is trying to answer back. Swoosh maybe just get a little bit cocky there, a little bit arrogant into the back lines. Will get brought down. Still, this cart will continue to move for now.
The Winston D.Va dive with Genji Tracer coming out from Hammers as they switch xepheR over. Movistar are taking up to a couple of ultimates, the Primal Rage and their Dragon Blade. If they can get in a decent position to use them, there is nothing really to reply on the other side. So there goes Swoosh into the back lines.
Wow.
A slash and a swift strike take down Tomsy. Has both supports, all of the healing removed from
Beautiful.
Hammers. The support line had gone down and the rest of the team turned their eyes to try and deal with it. Completely crushed there, only using a single ult.
So Neptuno played Zenyatta on the first point, I think only to deal with D.Va and the Winston on the payload, and now he swapped off instantly to Lucio just so they can dive instantly, what we would call the Cyclone move, and just go into their base.
Yeah.
So I kind of expect Colsty to just go into the spawn here with the ultimate in a few seconds.
Well, there's a stick straight onto his back, taken down a little bit and forced to use the Primal Rage. He's going to be moving straight into them. Shaz has got an ultimate to reply with here, but this is going to be a key fight.
Indeed it is. The Tranquility optical quite early from Hammers' side, but in answer to the nano visor that Fincy was popping off in the balcony section, Nesh is the one to find a kill. Shaz again with these orbs, time and time again. He's finding these crucial picks, turning the fight into the favor of Hammers. They are trading them quite equally so far, as Fincy still is not being taken care of into the back line, so he's buying a bit of time, but a minute on the clock here. Hammers have managed to stop the cart, at least in its tracks for now, but they need something to deal with this back line. The Ana soldier that they've got just sitting there, there's nothing to contest it. They're having a real rough time of it. Fisher wants to move in with the Dragon Blade, is going to find a kill. Now he's straight onto the back lines. It's one swipe, 2 kills. That's all it takes. A 4K for Fisher. Unreal gameplay coming out from this man.
My problem with that is that they used 4 ultimates, I think, to be able to win that fight, and they've just opened the door with 50 seconds left. It looked like if they just kind of chilled out a little bit and realized what the ult situation was, they would have been able to win that anyway. But
maybe they could have saved the Lucio ult there, actually. I think the Blade might have been enough.
I mean, it's hard to say, but if Fisher took his time with the Dragon Blade kills and staggered them out a little bit more, it would have been a much more difficult fight for Movistars to take. But because they died so quickly, now they can group of 6 and move in with the sound barrier. Dragon Blade of his own on Swoosh, claims the kill onto Tomsy. Didn't have the ult to protect him that time. Shaz's going to be answering back. Going to be trying to demech Mr. Snizzlenose as well out of mech, but he's going to get ran down here. Shaz has also found another kill onto Swoosh in the back lines. Not really getting focused down too much, still contesting into the early hours of this fight. 5 seconds remaining onto the card so far. Colsey just playing it quite adamantly. He's almost got his Primal Rage. He's going to be trying to build this up. So close to it. Very close. Overtime now ticking over. Tranquility from the side of Hammers to try and keep this cart going for them. Colsey almost with the Primal Rage. In fact, he does have it, so he's going to be using it now to push them off to the cart. Looking like a very favourable fight right now for the Movistar Riders. Not dropping a single player so far. Nesh is there, just trying his hardest into the back line. Still contesting this cart because the spawners, of course, are in Hammers' favour. So they can afford to just throw these bodies onto the point, but with nobody else available. Primal Rage not up to overtime, ticking over, 4 remaining. Good boop is going to put Christopher off tilt, and that will be doing it.